First of all, I would like to congratulate the PHDH.WORLD for organizing such an event. And Pharmaxil is also very much delighted to be associated with this event. I'm very much happy that being an organizing partner of this event, certainly it's going to be a value addition to our member companies. I appreciate the organizers, even though we are the partner organizers. I appreciate the organizers, the kind of deliberations and the kind of topics they structured, medical devices, vaccines and testing, pharma API, and so many verticals are addressed and eminent speakers. I'm thankful to Mr. Sushant Mahapatra. So he put everything in one basket, that is medical devices, vaccines, testing, pharma, API, and he also successful in making the Professor Jung Yong-taek, President and CEO, to address on pharmaceutical. He is from the Pharmaceutical Strategical Institute, Korea. So definitely his inputs are going to be helpful.
I wish today's program will be a turning point to expand cooperation between both countries, businessmen and the government in this sector. I want to express deep appreciation to the organizer, Mr. Sukanta Mahapatra, my 20-year-long friend, and many VVIPs and guests once again. Both.
We have an installed capacity right now. We have two different facilities that are both BSL-3 or Biosafety Level 3 compliant. We can manufacture anywhere between 100 to 200 million doses in these facilities, and we are actively trying to manufacture as much as we can right now because we have the necessary permissions. And we're also exploring strategies to expand the manufacturing footprint, not just in Hyderabad, but in other cities of India and also in other parts of the world. So we're talking with our partners to see if they're able to receive tech transfer from us and to scale up. So if that is, those discussions are ongoing right now in about 4 or 5 different countries. Once those are established, I think we should be able to reach a manufacturing scale of about 1 billion doses a year. Concepts we are working on, not with Covaxin, but it's another vaccine that we are under development, is trying to develop an intranasal vaccine, because we see that the delivery is key in trying for us to conquer COVID-19, because I don't think that we can conquer this disease by injecting people with our vaccine. We need to think about intranasal delivery systems, and we're working on that already. We've done a lot of animal testing in Hyderabad, in the United States. We have good challenge data already for that second candidate, and we're in the process of now scaling it up and starting to apply for our clinical permissions for that candidate.
With this, I must compliment and thank the industry कि हम लोग मिलकर के कुछ काम की बात भी आज हमने कर लिया. And the another thing is that for what this basic agenda was to have an insight about वृक्षायुष का जो अभी जो कैबिनेट में नोट प्रपोज हुई है, मिशन वृक्षायुष, उसमें हमने अभी प्रपोज किया है कि इसको प्रधानमंत्री वृक्षायुष योजना का नाम दें, और उसके अंदर 10 लाख हेक्टर्स ऑफ लैंड में कल्टीवेशन का वो है. उसमें मिनिस्ट्री चाहती है कि एक बार इंडस्ट्री की बॉडीज के साथ हम लोग एक MOU कर लें, so that there is a kind of a willingness of participation of industry of buying directly from the farmer and become guarantee kind of thing. So we are not taking 100% commitment, but willingness, we are asking to the industry for the willingness, that if willingness is there, then the later we can based on this broad MOU, we can have individual industry to farmer or FPO MOUs can be executed based on this MOU. वो हम आज करना चाह रहे हैं. उसके लिए मैं I must thank all industry bodies and all major players.
A very warm welcome to everyone, and I thank you, Mr. Mahapatra, for organizing this event, and Kotra for partnering with the Indian associations for making this event to be a success. And definitely we do think that after IT and pharma, medical device is the next big opportunity and a great investment opportunity of more than $10 billion, where we look forward to Korea being a partner with us.
So thank you for having me on this forum, and very warm hello to everyone. As you all know, that RT-PCR has evolved as a gold standard in testing over the years, not just for COVID, but also for many other infectious diseases.
The demand for biologics and that demand for biologics from a leader's perspective, as we start to transition the conversation on manufacturing capacities, there was a demand of about 2,500 kiloliters in 2018. That is expected to be about 4,200 kiloliters in over just a 5-year period.
The reasons is likely that the antigen testing results are available far more quickly. Yes, I do agree with Amit that there's a very wide base of RT-PCR testing facility available in the country, but it's a test that requires trained manpower. It's a test that requires, dedicated equipment. And just the nature of the test, it takes a couple of hours to do it.
Million thanks to organizers for this session. Before I speak as MD AMTZ, let me speak as a chairperson of the PLI and MedTech Park Guideline Committee, because I chaired both the committees on the medical devices for parks as well as for the PLI scheme.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna Kumar, for the question, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for inviting APECMed and myself to this session. So I think coming to the question, Mr. Krishna Kumar, the two schemes that you're referring to, I think are great schemes, and APECMed is very supportive of both the schemes. I think if I talk first about the PLI scheme, it's definitely a boost for global manufacturers of medical devices that are member of APECMed. There are more than 150 global companies who are members of APECMed, and we truly appreciate this initiative from Government of India, Department of Pharma particularly, where they have brought in a very I would say progressive scheme in terms of bringing in incentive which are linked to production and obviously the sales after that.
I have to say that I don't think there's any shortcuts here when it comes to vaccine efficacy or safety. And majority of the countries, including the US, especially the US, have published guidelines when it comes to their expectations related to both efficacy and safety. And I have to say that there is no notion of emergency use either in US or WHO.
We were the first company to launch the swine flu vaccine in 2010 when a pandemic had occurred in our country. And then we had gone ahead and developed a lot of vaccines which have been indigenously developed for the first time. And some of them are already in the market. Now, coming back to the COVID vaccine, so this, as I was mentioning, the work started somewhere in the month of February. And at that point of time, we looked at the historical data and we found that only the kind of vaccines which has shown significant efficacy for coronavirus infections have been DNA vaccines.
What I feel now is that we have enough bandwidth, we have enough capacities to manufacture. If needed, if the testing labs ramp up in their capacity to test, the suppliers like us can always produce more than enough kits and supply to them. So somewhere to balance the whole thing out, the government should give a leeway to allow us to export.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting myself. So I'm XL so part of ESCO Life Sciences group of companies. So you're probably by now the most globalized Singapore life science company. So we have more than 1,500 employees operating in 43 locations, 7 factories around the world. So primarily we are enabling our collaborators and fellow scientists. These are also within the industry. So mainly we are enabling them to lower the cost of goods for their novel cell gene therapies, vaccines as well for both animal health and human health.
Vaccines are, for every other vaccine, and even the pipeline ones, for instance, I know all of you all are at it, whether it's a PCV or an HPV or Zika or others, you're not putting other programs, you're prioritizing COVID, you're putting everything you can into it, but we're not setting back anything else in terms of manufacturing priority. But I think as a larger community, that reminder is important. I couldn't thank you all more for joining us this morning. I think it's such a great reminder again of how much industry has gotten done in the short period of time. I think very, very a lot of hope in terms of what you put out in the discussion, that by end of the year, we will have a lot of visibility and possibly some supply, but definitely a lot of visibility and understanding. In 2021 has potential for wide-scale immunization. So I think that is that's encouraging, and I think as a country's community, we're thankful for your efforts. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much, Pushpa. Thanks, Sai, Kapil.
Thank you, Kapil. Thank you, Sai.
Yeah, thanks, Pushpa. Thanks, Mahima. And thanks, Kapil. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
To sign off, there is a biomanufacturing panel, I think, after this, for the audience. Enjoy that. I'm glad PDHD is created. I think it's filled for the void in the virtual world of the kind of qualitative interactions we should be having. Enjoy the other panels. Thank you for joining us.
Cell and gene therapy find this virtual expo, especially the B2B segment, useful to understand the pharma industry in India. There is not much focus, and also assist in forming joint ventures, collaborations with prospective Indian partners. I look forward to the deliberations of this event, and I wish you all the very best. Globally, a lot of focus, a lot of investments are happening, and one particular example I wanted to give is regarding Hitachi Chemicals. So Hitachi Chemicals in Japan, they have bought a big plant in the US, PCT cell therapy manufacturing, 100% acquired. They're also acquiring in Germany, Abseth.
While as a country, I think we heard that there are we have scaled up quite significantly from a few hundreds and thousands to 10 to 11 tests a day. I think it does say that the country has scaled up, but the question really is, have we become Atmanirbhar, and is it something that we are ready for the future? The second thing, obviously, is the fact that we are there will be many more pandemics or many other things that will come up. The question is, are we prepared? But I think the question that's on everybody's mind is, how do we open up this economy safely, and how can we discuss about that in the different aspects? Because clearly, I think when we scale up and we do mass testing, there are also areas of how do we look at people coming back to work